Hi y'all, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and we're back here today with another challenge video. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, so let's get on with the crafts. Let's go. Here we go with DIY number one. Here we are with our first DIY, and I got this tray, I believe from the community thrift store. If you don't know what the community thrift store is, there's a video where I tell you all about it. I don't remember which one it is, so I'll go ahead and tell you again. It is where people, sorry about that, you guys. It is where people put out their trash at the end of the road, and if they have something good that other people can pick up, then it's sitting out with the trash. And I got mine at the community thrift store. And I am cleaning it up because I saw the potential for this. And I took and sanded it down, and I'm wiping it down and cleaning it up really good so that it's ready for paint and getting any of the dust off of it. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the Dixie Belle Slick Stick, which is now called Bonding Boss, but I bought mine back in the day when it was still Bonding Boss. And I am going to take this and I'm going to paint the whole bottom of this, the whole tray, the handles and everything, because this, I don't know what this was painted with prior to this, and some paints are subject to come off. So if I put the Bonding Boss on there, then I'm good to go, because this stuff sticks. It sticks this lid to the container so tight that that's why you saw the pause or the break in the video, because I had to go get my husband to open it because it was so tight. That's how well it sticks. And he was like, dang, this stuff is stuck. He just said, has it ever been open? I said, yes. He said, oh, that's the reason why. So I'm going to paint everything with the Slick Stick, or you can paint it with Bonding Boss, which is even better than Slick Stick now. Now, the next thing I did was I painted the whole bottom of the box, let it dry, then I painted the inside of the box, and I'm using the Sea Glass Dixie Belle Chalk Mineral Paint. And I'm painting the whole thing inside and out, upside down, everything, and getting it a good coat on it and getting it dried in. Now, with that Bonding Boss on there, you don't need as many coats, but I did have to go back because I saw some places that needed to be touched up, and so that's what I did. And it only took one coat with the Bonding Boss or the Slick Stick. And then I got some of this metallic paint from Dixie Belle. It's called Moonshine Metallic, and this one is in the gold. And I'm going to go along the edges of this and paint it gold. And I'm going to go all the way around the edge, and then I'm going to also do the handles as well, because I thought this really set it off really good for what I was doing with the transfer that I'm going to add to this in just a few minutes. So let me get this done and we'll get on with the next step. So the next thing I did is I got this retro peacock transfer from Dixie Belle, and I am going to take this and add it to my tray here, and it is absolutely a gorgeous transfer. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think Dixie Belle just reduced the prices on these, and we also sell them in our booth at Avonlea. So you can make a tray or anything you want. You can put this on a lamp, so many different things. So many different things. So here I am sorting through the transfers to see what goes with what. And I wanted to use the peacock head, but the big pieces of peacock were too big for the head that I had, so I had to find the bottom to that one. And there we go, there it is. So I'm going to cut this out and get it prepped and ready to put on this tray. Now we're going to lay down, I wanted to lay down the tail first because it was the most intricate piece, and I wanted to make sure I kind of centered it in the box where I had it. And you're just going to rub over this transfer until you get it to come off. Now if you make a mistake, I'll show you how to fix that in a few minutes, but you just keep rubbing until you get this whole thing transferred on there. I do make a mistake on here and don't even realize that I pulled a part of it off and didn't get it on there. So I'll show you how to fix that. Now make sure you've let your paint completely dry before you try to put any of these transfers on. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just taking the plastic and rubbing it, and then I go and put the top piece on as well, and then I'm going to put the handles on to see if I want to do anything else with this. And you just tighten these handles back down with the screws that came with it. And I did clean up the screws because the screws were painted that yellowish white that the tray was, and I just used a piece of sandpaper to get those screws cleaned off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around these edges with some of these pieces, and I'm looking to see how I want to lay things out. Okay, so here I'm getting you close up so you can see how I'm going to go around this corner. So I first did the face part of it. Now once I got all of that on there, then I'm going to lay this over and stick it down, and then I'll rub it with my little stick. Now I did switch to one of my other sticks that I had in my craft drawer that was a lighter color, because I noticed that the brown one, when I lifted it, if I accidentally ran off the plastic, it caused a brown spot on my paint, and I didn't want that to happen, so I got a lighter color stick to do that. Now you're just going to press it until you get all of that stuff done on this part. Now I will say putting stuff on wood is a little bit more difficult because the wood is porous. And see how that other piece just came off? Well, when you get it over there, you're going to flip it over the edge. Now a piece of mine started coming off, so I cleaned it up so that it would look right, just the way it was. And I'm sorry, I thought I had it in frame there. So you're just going to rub everything down and make sure it's good and stuck. And I'm going to do this on all four corners, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now, after I got all of this done, I'm going to check it over, make sure there's nothing else I want to put on there. You see the mistake I had? I cut out one of the little feather pieces, and I'm going to take and put it down, and I'm going to just rub it with my fingernail. And look at there, you can't even tell there was a mistake now. So use your transfers wisely as you do this. If you make a mistake, most of the time you can fix it. And then the next thing I'm doing is I'm looking over everything really good to make sure that I have everything where I want it. And then I'm going to place it on these little stands. I don't know why I'm doing this now, because I was doing it before because I was trying to get the paint to completely dry in all the other different spots. And so that I could make it on different levels so you can see it. Now I'm taking the extra coat that is by Dixie Belle Silk, and because this is a piece of wood furniture, I am going to take this and coat this so that this transfer will stay on here until somebody's ready to take it off. And this is also going to protect it. If they want to use the tray, it will keep it from anything from damaging the transfer. And so we're just going to paint it on, and I'm going to tell you what, this extra coat goes a long way, because I usually just dip my brush in it one time and it just goes on so good, especially if you're using the silk one coat paint. It goes even further. But if you're using this chalk paint, it's going to soak up a pretty good bit of this extra coat that you're putting on here, but it turns out absolutely beautiful when you're done. So I'm going to get this painted and let it dry, and then we'll go to the next step. All right, here we are finishing it up and letting it get good and dry, and making sure that we've got even the handles covered, checking for any dry spots, and then we'll let this dry and we'll see it at the final reveal. All right, it's time for that thrift flip road trip. You guys get ready, get buckled up, because there is an awesome playlist out there. Sammy over at UnicornDustDesigns does amazing work over there, and there's also the Crafting Cousins that sponsor this every other month. Now, if you want to join, get in touch with either one of these crafting ladies over on Instagram. I'm sure they'll be happy to get you set up for this, or get in touch with me and let me know. And also is hosted by Crafting with Annie Jones, and she is the co-host this month. And there's all the ladies' channels are going to be linked in my description box below. Go check them out. Also check out the playlist, because there's a bunch of awesome ladies that are doing some awesome craft videos, and you sure don't want to miss it. So go check them out. All right, here we go with DIY number 2. Now this little tray I picked up at a garage sale, and it was pretty bad. It was originally some kind of silver. They put some kind of acid on it, and to get it to flake and look all weird like it is. I don't know why they would do that, but I'm going to take a wire brush to it and clean up all these little flakes off of it, and then I'm going to try out some metallic paints on this. And when I got it finished, I was like, not sure if I like it, or if I should add something else, or if I should use something else on it. So tell me in the comments below what you would do with this, because I'm going to show you what I'm doing. But then I'm going to ask you to give me your comments if you think I should add a transfer to this, or just add like a grunge wax or something on there, or some kind of wax over the top of this. I don't know. I'm sitting there in a quandary about what to do with it. I like the color of it that it turned out to be. But let's get to the next step. Alright, so the next thing I did is I broke out the slick stick again. Yes, it is Bonding Boss now. I know this. But I broke out the slick stick. I'm trying to get this stuff used up, and I found that whenever you're painting metal pieces, it works really well. When I was recovering from being in the hospital, I did paint a metal saw, and on one of the days I thought I was going to get in here and just do all kinds of stuff and break out a bunch of videos. It never happened because I got in here, got started, and then I was like, ugh, I feel awful. And I went and laid back down. But I did get the slick stick on it and get it coated. And anyway, my husband asked me why I would ruin such a good saw. My husband's always asking me why I'm doing what I'm doing. But I was like, because I got an idea. Sometimes he doesn't like my ideas. He thinks they're silly. And I need to get a new brush because this brush is falling apart. But I don't like using a good brush when I'm using my slick stick, because it does get cakey in these brushes and it does wash out. But I just prefer myself personally to use an older brush. And yeah, after this brush was done, I was done with it today. It wasn't going to get used again. It got put in file 13. So anyway, we're going to paint this whole thing with Bonding Boss. And then the next thing that I'm doing is I'm going to take some of this silk chalk mineral paint that is called Quiet Cove. And it almost looks white, but it's not white. It's got a bluish tint to it. Now, I know this video is not going to make it look like it's got a bluish tint to it too much, but it does have a bluish tint to it because you saw the metallic that I put out there for you to see. Now, whenever you use the metallic paints, the concept behind it is you're supposed to paint it with a lighter color underneath, and that's similar to it, and then add this over the top of it. So this does have a bluish tint to it. You just can't tell in this video. So I'm going to put this down and get it painted on here. I'm going to do the front, the back, and the top, and then we'll move on to the next step. After that paint dries, sorry about that, I was trying to get the camera and everything in line. I'm going to take this Caribbean blue moonshine metallic, and I'm going to paint this. This is absolutely a gorgeous color, and I'm going to paint the top and the bottom and everything with it, and then we're going to let it dry, and we will see this at the final reveal. This turned out really pretty, but in the comments below, I want you to leave me a message and tell me whether you would put a wax over the top of this that would get in all of those little divots and stuff on there, or if I should put a transfer on there, or if I should leave it like it is. But we'll see the rest of this at the final reveal. Now here we go with DIY number 3. Now for this next DIY, I'm sorry I don't have a better picture of this, but I have this lampshade that I did, and I couldn't find the footage for it, but here is a video where I made it before, and go check that one out because it'll show exactly how I made this and all the details. And here's another picture of it lit up, and we'll see the rest of this one at the final reveal if I can get a better picture today. Now here's DIY number 4. All right, here we are. We got this beautiful piece at the thrift store, and it is very, very old. Each one of these cabinet doors lock with a key, and it's also got such old glass in it that the glass ripples, and it's very old. But it had one problem. It didn't have enough shelves for what I was going to use it for. But I'm going to show you how I used it. I took it and I put it on top of a dresser that we already had. And well, it's not a dresser, it's a cabinet, and I'm assuming it was like an old TV cabinet or something. And we put that in my kitchen. Now my husband was gracious enough to go out here and cut me some shelves for it. Now that shelving board, my neighbors were actually throwing it out. I walked over and asked him if I could have it, and he was gracious enough and gave it to me. And it was the same color as what's in the cabinets, and I didn't even have to paint it or anything. And you don't even know that it wasn't painted for that cabinet. So he is going and getting the stuff he needs. Now, I know how to use the saw, but because he brought the saw out, he said, I'll cut it for you. So what he did is he laid the shelves that I had on there, in the cabinet on there, and measured them out and then cut it for me. And it just made it go so much faster. And so then I was just holding the end of the board up for extra support. And he told me to set it down while he wasn't using it. And so he went in to make sure that it was going to fit the shelf, and it fit beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I had him cut every bit of the boards that he could out of this one board. I told him I needed 2 of the skinnier shelves and 4 of the larger shelves. That way I would have extra shelves. And look at me over there chomping down on that gum. And I got it on fast forward. That's why it looks like I'm going fast. But anyway, he took and put the board on there, measured it, and cut it. And that's all there was to it. And then we'll get on to the next step. Now here we are, and I'm showing you the 2 boards and how close those colors are. And I didn't even worry about painting the shelves or anything, because by the time you get the jars on there, you're not going to notice. And here I am in the kitchen. Now here I am in the kitchen wiping all the shelves off and putting them in and seeing where I needed them. And I didn't have to do anything to this cabinet, so it's still all original. I still have the wheels that go on the bottom of it. I still have all of the hardware that goes to it, the original hardware. So I'm putting the nicer shelves that originally came with it up top, because my shelves that I had just cut do not are not painted on the bottom. So if I put them towards the bottom, nobody will know they're not painted. So I'm putting all these in here. And what I use this for is I store all my dry mixes. Now, if you want to see how I make some of my dry mixes and put them in here and store it, go watch What the Tuckers over on YouTube. It's my new YouTube channel that I just started, showing all the canning, the cooking, and the gardening that I'm adding in on this channel, and just showing us how to do regular everyday living and going back to the basics. Because if you've read the back of your boxes, it says, like some of those mixes, it says it has bioengineered ingredients in it, and I'm like, no, I'm not eating no bioengineered stuff no more. I'm trying to get healthy. I'm trying to lose weight, trying to get everything back to where I'm healthy again, because it's caused problems with my gut, and I'm ready to make some changes, and I'm going to bring y'all along. All right, y'all, that's the end of this one, and we'll see the rest of this at the final reveal and the pictures of it as I finish stocking it. Now, at this time, we'd like to thank our subscribers. We love you bunches. We appreciate everything you do for this channel. All the liking, the sharing, and the big thumbs up, and having conversations with us through the comments. We really enjoy all of that, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We wouldn't be a channel if it wasn't for y'all watching. And so we just want to give you a big thanks. Here we go with the final reveal and all the embellishments. As most of you know, Beth and I opened the Sheet Shack over at the Avonlea Mall, and here is the mall. It is 8101 Phillips Highway. Come visit us. We'd love to have you. We've also added Dixie Belle Paints to our booth through Southern Belle Paints, and also Beth has started a new channel called Kel's Shenanigans, and we have started What the Tuckers, all to further God's kingdom.
Turn out awesome. So you guys, if you like this content, subscribe. Hit that notification bell and give us that big thumbs up because it really helps our channel out. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye.